Hey guys, back again. Still going. I think we are 40. We got 40 minutes to go before I get to my destination. So this was like almost hour 40 minutes trip because of the congestion. If I was on state highway, it would have taken me hour 30 minutes, but because there is congestion on the state highway, I had to take back routes, and so it's taking a bit longer. It's going to take a bit longer, but we're back. I think the GoPro, in the last video, the GoPro turned itself off because it was getting too hot. So he told me. So I had to sort of give it a bit of time to cool down. And yeah, we are back. We're back again on windy New Zealand roads. 30 kilometers per hour on this one. It's a narrow one. So you just gotta take it easy and yeah, keep going. I can't remember what we were talking about, guys. What I was talking about before the GoPro went off. Let's see. Look at that scenery, guys. There's a raggedy, beautiful landscape. But the problem is that the original vegetation has been cleared for farm, so all you see is mostly grass and a few indigenous trees, trees. A lot of farming activity here is the dominant farming activity around these lands is really cattle, so dairy, keeping cows for milk, and sheep farming. So the joke in trading among business trading or whatever is that New Zealand has more sheep than people. Because New Zealand does a lot of sheep farming, lamb, all those beautiful warm coats that people wear around the world. Chances are that they came from these farms. You see? Because New Zealand rears a lot of sheep, merino sheep for that matter, and they produce some very light, warm clothing. It's light, it's not heavy, but it's really, really very warm. For the winter, it's for the winters and stuff. So it's a very interesting commercial activity. New Zealand is also known, of course, other than tourism and stuff, sheep farming, dairy farming. Fonterra is one of the largest, not one of the largest, it really is the largest dairy cooperative, I suppose, in the world. It's New Zealand owned, started by New Zealand farmers, but I think it's, if not the largest, will be one of the largest dairy cooperatives in the world, and it's the one that is responsible for milk production, processing, and exporting here in New Zealand. But the funny thing is that, as much as New Zealand produces a lot of lamb and milk, it's more expensive. Lamb in New Zealand supermarket is more expensive than lamb in say in Australia or the UK or the States. I was in the States once, and in a mall, in a supermarket, and I go and actually it was Kroger's, and I picked up a piece of lamb from New Zealand because I saw New Zealand on it, and because I figured when I did the conversion rate, it was actually cheaper in the States than it was in New Zealand. And this was premium New Zealand lamb, you know. So it's a weird fact there. Why would, if it's being produced in this country, it needs to be at least cheaper than when it's being exported, but then it's other way around. So guys, I'm not sure again where we are at the moment. I will find, hopefully I come across some sort of signage that will tell me where I am. The GPS tells me I'm 9 kilometers to I'm still on Highway 22 and 9 kilometers to Ohautira Road. So yeah, we'll see. But at the moment I'm just enjoying these back roads. I never get to see this little nature like this when you're on the highway. Discover places that you will never have otherwise known, and it comes in handy. But this always comes in handy. This acquiring knowledge like this always comes in handy when you least expect it. Yeah, so that's another interesting fact about New Zealand. The rugby system, All Blacks. Some people wonder, oh, why are the All Blacks such a successful team? You know, why are the All Blacks such a successful sports team? And the answer really lies in the systems they've put in place, right from recruitment all the way through to senior professionals joining the national team. It's a very, very detailed and quality process, you know. And I suppose if you are wanting to run any sports team successfully, maybe you should come and study the All Blacks model. I mean, rugby in New Zealand is sacred. Like high school rugby is big. High school rugby is just as big as college football in America. You know, people take high school rugby here very seriously, and that's where you get young raw talent that over time then is streamlined into the national team that makes the All Blacks. And I think in New Zealand, being an All Black is a big privilege. It's a big privilege, and because it's a patriotic duty, it's a national duty that the players take very, very seriously. Yeah, we've just had a general election. It's a very interesting thing about New Zealand elections compared to like anywhere else in the world, and especially like elections in Kenya, for instance. Here in New Zealand, we just recently had the main general election, and the party that was in power, Labour, was voted out. And now there's a new government led by National, which are traditionally conservatives. Labour is basically union-backed, union-led. National is more on the fiscal side of things, so it's always emphasizing on economics, fiscal management, etc., business. So for some reason, Labour was kicked out, and National is in government. So they just, and a parliamentary system. So people vote parties. So the party with the most seats gets to form government in a coalition with other parties, which makes it interesting because if you don't have a majority in parliament, there could be a smaller party that maybe has a couple of seats, maybe 1, 2, or 3 seats that you need in order to form government. And in that instant, in that moment, this little party becomes very powerful, becomes the kingmaker. You know, so the parliamentary system of governance is very, very interesting when it comes to coalition making, because it actually makes sure that even small parties, yes, they may not form, they may not be at the top, say produce a prime minister, but they're definitely going to have a say in who that prime minister is. And in that instance, then their demands or their policies get to be implemented. Because if say you are like national and you have like, it requires I think 62 seats in New Zealand to form government, a party to garner 62 electoral seats to form government. So you may be a big party like National or Labour and you've only got 60. You've managed to get maybe say even 59 if you've really done very well. But there's 2 seats that you don't have that a small party managed to get. And this small party then becomes suddenly a very, very important player in your fate, because you need the 2 seats and you can't form government without the 2 seats. And so this small party then will come on the table and you have to negotiate with it, and most of the time they will make sure that all their demands are met before they can agree to form a coalition with you. And even during the coalition, in running government, if they disagree with you on something, you know, they can pull out and collapse the government and trigger a by-election, trigger an election again. You know, because you can't govern with less than the minimum required number of seats. So if your small coalition partner is unhappy with you for some reason, they can easily pull out of the coalition, which I think, in my opinion, makes it very good for democracy. You know, because in democracy, as they say, the majority have their way, the minority have their say. And in a parliamentary system, boy,
600 meters, turn right onto
the minority do have a big say.
Highway 23.
In a parliamentary system, sometimes the minority have the only say, which is good for democracy. Because I could start my own party, focus on certain...
Next right onto Auckland-Raglan Road, signs for Raglan, State Highway 23.
Finally, guys, I am turning right to Raglan.
Continue on Auckland-Raglan Road for 17 kilometers.
Now, Raglan, I'll tell you a bit about Raglan. Is a quaint little coastal town. I think it's not north of Hamilton. Is it south of Hamilton or west of Hamilton? I don't know. But anyway, but it's very beautiful, very beautiful. And as we drive, you will see the scenery. It's amazing. I think some of the background shots, pictures on your computer screens may have been taken along this route to Raglan. You know, we're going to see some very beautiful scenery. Yeah, so I was rambling on about the parliamentary system of governance in New Zealand, and how a small party can have sometimes the only say in an election, even if the majority have their own way, you know. And that's what, you know, when you look at a country like Kenya, Raila is trying to push for parliamentary system. Whether you agree with him or not, up to you, but it is what it is. Yeah. So heading on to Raglan, guys, and getting closer and closer to our destination. I am hoping that you have enjoyed the ride and my rambling. I think we still got time to go. Still got about 15 kilometers before we get near to our site. So yeah, look at that scenery, guys. Look at those mountains. You know, when you're driving like this and you got a little country music going on, you know, this one reminds me of when I was living in the States, down south. I've always been like, I always loved country music. I grew up listening to country music, so I suppose it's no surprise that even in my adult life, I still tend to listen to country music when I'm driving. When you're going down the hill and down the valleys and up the hills and all that good stuff, while Alan Jackson or good old Don Williams is playing, it's always good company to have. Good company to have in the car. Unfortunately, somebody told me, one day I was trying to sing and somebody told me, hey, your voice is not on the keyboard. And that's how my singing career ended. That's how my hopes to have a singing career ended, guys. That my voice was not on a keyboard. Can you imagine? Yeah. So I decided that, right, I probably will not have a singing career, but I can have a different sort of career. See, the thing about coming to Raglan is that the turns and twists, if you are new, the locals who live here, and I have friends who live out in Raglan, they tell me, there's no turns, you just swing and sway your way through. I'm like, guys, gee, what happens normally is that if you're new and you're driving on this route, if you're new and you're driving on this route and there is a local guy behind you, because you're new, you don't know the curve, so you tend to go slowly, and the guy behind you will be angry. And they will actually just be sort of like pushing you. Do you ever experience that? Like somebody just comes too close to your rear bumper, that, you know, they're trying, like they're silently trying to tell you, hey, get out of the way, or go faster. You know, that time they don't know you're not a local, you see. But the locals, of course, they will be swinging and turning and whatever, as if it's a straight road. Yeah. But I hate it. I hate it when somebody comes close to my rear and trying to tell me, oh, go faster, go faster. You know, it's like, dude, I don't know what's around the corner. Please yeah, but that's that. I try to go faster whenever I can, but in these windy roads, it's always quite scary to do that. You know, and up ahead, you gotta slow down. One car passing. Yeah, I'm about 10 minutes away from my destination. You know, I hope you're enjoying all this scenery. I hope you're enjoying more of the scenery and less of my rambling than anything else. And let me know down below if you like this kind of content, where I just drive and share with you the scenery, and you know, do a bit of commentary here and there. It's always a pleasure driving. I like driving. Driving is therapeutic, you know. I solve a lot of my problems while I'm in the car driving because it's quiet. You can listen to the rhythm of the wind as it blows past and try to figure out things. Yeah. And then of course by the time you reach your destination, or if you're going for a presentation, you can prepare that way for your presentation in your mind slowly, you know, quiet in the car. The problem is that YouTube doesn't allow music in the background because of copyright reasons. So yeah, otherwise I'll be playing music in the background, some background themes, favorite songs. Yeah. So if you're coming to New Zealand, guys, if you're planning a trip to New Zealand, I would say make it a point to visit Raglan. It's very, very interesting. It's a beautiful little coastal town out of Hamilton. The fact that the nearest big city is Hamilton. I think when I'm coming back from this visit, I will pass through Hamilton and the main state highway. Hopefully it would have cleared and you guys can actually see. I can show you part of that as well. But look at this country, guys. Down the hills, down the valleys, into the valley, up the hills, round corners, you know, turning and twisting. Very interesting. The roads are narrow, so somebody has to wait for the other car to pass, and then you've got to acknowledge them, which is always good. Yeah, good traffic behavior, road behavior. Acknowledge when somebody lets you pass. You say thank you very much, sir or madam, and you have a safe trip wherever your journeys take you. Oh guys, my battery is getting low. Hopefully this video doesn't shut before my battery dies. Otherwise I'll have to charge it in the car. I'm not sure the car battery can charge this battery, this camera. First time I'm running into the first sign of traffic on the back roads. Rarely do you have traffic on the back roads. So we just keep going, following these guys.